Sometimes you just don't have anything to say. And when there is nothing in your mind that you want to say, then you try to make something up on the spot. You try to think about the things that could actually cause you to have a flow of information that would be helpful to someone. Can you help someone? Is there actually a way that you can change another person? Is there actually a way that you can approach life as though it's something that you're responsible for? Are you responsible for your life? Are you responsible to what happens to you? Well, I'll tell you a secret. You are. You are completely responsible for every single thing that happens. And if you take that approach of being completely responsible for every single thing that happens, then you have agency. You can change things. And that's what's important. It's not so much that someone's done you wrong, or that you have done someone else wrong, or that you disagree with someone, or your political stance is the opposite of theirs. It's not so much any of those things. It's that your attempt to listen and understand to someone else's point of view is part of your perception. Your perception of what's happening is part of the story that you tell, the story that makes sense to you, and how you make sense to another person. So when you're trying to sell, when you're trying to make what you do valuable to another person, what you perceive about their reaction has everything to do with how you process what happens. Have you ever had the experience of a conversation where you're just itching to say something, and by sitting there waiting for your opportunity to speak, because you're polite and you're not going to interrupt, you're going to try and hold it back until it's your turn to speak, and then someone else starts speaking and it makes you increasingly frustrated. What are you actually doing? You're not actually listening to what's happening, and therefore what you're about to say may become completely irrelevant. Have you ever lost an audience in a meeting, like at work, when what you say, people raise their eyebrows and look at you strangely and say, "What's that got to do with it?" Or, "Why are you saying that?" That can happen if you do not participate in the drift of conversation. As it snakes through and changes, you have to know what it is that's happening by perceiving. When you're thinking about what you're going to say, when it's so precious to you that what you're going to say is going to somehow create some magical spell that's going to elevate you in other people's eyes, you're not listening. Active listening is what you must do. Now, especially in a sales context or in a relationship context, active listening is tuning in to what the other person's mind is doing, and then your response comes from your heart in response to what they're saying, rather than in response to what was being said 5 minutes ago. In a business setting, when a client or a prospective client says to you, "We want to do things this way because of this reason," you need to take that into consideration before you start telling them what the solution to their problem is. "Oh yes, sir, I definitely think that XYZ process is going to work for you," may not apply if they're already doing XYZ process and they actually need ABCD. These differences between what you're prepared to say, and when I say prepared, I mean prepared in the moment, and what actually is said, may make all the difference between being relative and relevant to the person listening or being a waste of time. Be relevant, and your time will be valued as you are valuing theirs.